Hello everybody, what is up? My name is Julia, friends call me J-Rock. Thank you for tuning in for yet another episode of The Morning After. I appreciate you being here, but we gotta talk today, y'all. Your president is out here doing nonsense yet again. What I'm really talking about is his visit to Puerto Rico. As you know, yesterday he went to Puerto Rico to see the damage and interface with the leadership in Puerto Rico and kind of talk about the logistics, about getting aid there and dealing with FEMA. And I just don't think the trip went all that well. Usually when a president is going to a disaster zone location, the president is talking to survivors and really understanding what's going on and really trying to find solutions to make sure that the recovery is as fast as possible and that supplies, medicine, food, all of those things are getting disseminated as quickly as possible. That's what a normal president would do. That's what my president, number 44, would have done. But somehow 45 gets down there and is still able to make the visit about him, about his leadership coming from the White House and just not focusing on the issues at hand. He had this weird round table session where he basically went around and had people talk about, how good the response has been. He asked one lady to say, hey, can you just give me a little bit, or can you please, repeat what you said about how things are going? Meanwhile, there are people all across that island who are without food, without electricity, without water, without medicine. For all of that, he could have stayed at home. I mean, if you're just going there to pat yourself on the back, there's no need for you to be there. And then there's this disgusting video clip of him giving out supplies, which is actually him kind of hiking paper towel rolls out into the crowd. And it's like, is that what a president would really do? People are hurting, people need supplies, and you're tossing out rolls like you're at some sort of sporting event. It's like, what is wrong with this dude? This comes on top of comments he made over the weekend from his golf course about the mayor of San Juan, Mayor Cruz, saying that, at one point she was complimentary to him, but now the Democrats somehow told her to be nasty to him, and that the people of Puerto Rico want everything done for them instead of helping themselves. It's supposed to be a community effort. And he went on and on about that. What's most disgusting is that when you see the pictures of Mayor Cruz, she's actually out there wading through water, who knows has whatever floating in it. And she's out there trying to help her countrymen, making sure that they're okay, making sure they're getting food and water and supplies. He's spending his time from his golf course tweeting about her, not really actually paying attention to the crisis at hand. And what was also disturbing to me about those tweets is when he talked about the fact that the Puerto Ricans want everything done for them. And that goes to the age-old narrative of Black and brown people, they're lazy, they don't have any get up and go, they just want everything done for them. Because I don't remember hearing anyone saying during Hurricane Irma or Harvey that the people who are looking for supplies and relief, they're lazy and they want everything to be done for them. The narrative was like, let's help these people. Why is the narrative somehow now different because it's dealing with Puerto Rico? It has something to do with the fact that the people who live on Puerto Rico are brown. And the majority of people who are going to suffer in a place like Florida and Texas, the majority of those people will not be brown. And that's why when Jamel Hill says something like Trump is a white supremacist, I didn't even flinch. It's like, yeah, that sounds about accurate. And everyone's like, oh, that's so harsh. But you have to look at how he treats people who aren't white. Let me get my Kanye West on for a quick second. Trump does not care about Black or brown people, period. And on top of that, Trump is just a narcissist. So no matter what the situation is, no matter how bad it is or who it devastates or who it hurts, the commentary is still, well, we're doing a great job and I'm doing a great job and we're all doing a great job. And it's like, dude, who cares? People are dying. People need you to provide them with aid and assistance. What are you doing about that? We're not even going to get into their logistical challenges because Puerto Rico is an island surrounded by water. I mean, clearly he's not smarter than a fifth grader. But the fact is, he's always able to make the narrative about him and about what he and his team are doing instead of focusing on the people that need the attention. Worst of all, he made it seem like Hurricane Maria wasn't that big of a deal because he's like, oh, well, how many deaths have you guys had? Only 17. Well, it's not Katrina where there were so many people that died. This was a Category 5 hurricane that pummeled this island. And even if you don't have 1 million deaths or something, it's still catastrophic because the island has been leveled and the people across the island are now without basic essential things that they need to live. So doing the comparison of, well, this hurricane isn't really that bad because everybody didn't die. It's like, well, first of all, it's premature for that because we don't know how long it's gonna take for supplies to get to people. So we don't know if the death toll is going to tick up. And on top of that, even if it doesn't, this is a hurricane of catastrophic proportions. So for you to use your platform as a president of the United States to somehow trivialize this event, first of all, you're making the Puerto Ricans feel like they're less than, or what their suffering is trivial in comparison to what happened in Louisiana. There are people who truly have suffered and have lost everything. They've lost everything. No one wants to hear that, hey, it's not that bad for you. It's very clear that 45 has no interest in being the president of all Americans or being able to empathize or sympathize with anyone who's not rich and white. He doesn't care. He's not interested. He only goes to these places because people tell him to. He doesn't care about the people in Puerto Rico. He doesn't care if they die. He's talked about how much the country owes and how much it's going to cost to help the people there. And he talks about their budget. He's focusing on the economics of this. Meanwhile, there are people who are really struggling and dying. To Mayor Cruz's point, this is about saving lives. It's not about politics, but 45 just doesn't seem to get that. Every day that I see him go out there and make a fool of our democracy, make a fool of the collaborative spirit that we can have to help our brothers and sisters in Puerto Rico. Every day I see him go out there and fly in the face of that. I just keep hoping that Robert Mueller is closer and closer to something in his investigation to get this man out of office. We'll take the whole group with them. You can take Pence too, because he's not worth nothing either, but we can save that for another episode. People talked about Bush and how he handled Katrina. That was a clear mishandling of the situation. I'm not going to trivialize that in any way. The heck of a job brownie thing, we know how that went. But I think there's a difference between Bush and Trump here, and you hear me out. I believe that Bush was a little bit more ignorant, like just pure ignorant in comparison to Donald Trump, who's a narcissistic white supremacist. That dude literally is just calculated in making sure that he keeps down anyone that's not rich and not white. Because if you're Mexican, you're bad. If you're from a Middle Eastern country, you're bad. And if you're black, you're shooting each other, in Chicago or wherever they continually reference about black on black crime, which isn't a thing. In Charlottesville, the white supremacists and the Nazis, they were very fine people. It's clear to see where this man's head is at. He's never going to pivot. This is the person that was elected to run the United States. Someone who literally doesn't give a damn about anybody else, who isn't a family member or isn't rich and white and male, because he doesn't like women either. So my real hope is that others in the administration may help to shift the focus, like, dude, let's get off of you and get off the response and actually make sure that people are getting the help they need. Mayor Cruz did say on, I think it was the Rachel Maddow show, that late last week things have started to pick up. So aid is starting to go out and things are moving a little bit more quickly. So we're thankful for that. But she did reference that a lot of the help is coming from private donations. So for those of you out there who have been giving to the different organizations that are providing aid to Puerto Rico, clearly it's getting into the right hands and it really is making a difference. So keep on giving. If our government doesn't want to help us, we've got to help ourselves. But let me know what you think. Have you had it with 45 and his antics when it comes to dealing with natural disasters or dealing with any situation in the U.S.? What are your thoughts on what's happening in Puerto Rico and how quickly the aid is moving? Put some comments below, show me a little bit of love. And until next time, guys, I want you to help Puerto Rico if you can. I'm going to put some links in the description box. And I want you guys to laugh hard, love hard, and dream big. This is J-Rock out.